Here, Jonathan started digging a trench out to put the sewer pipe in. So we're gonna have an RV dump thing over here. So if somebody's in the shop, they can just run this out here. And then we'll have another RV dump over there next to where their bus is gonna park. So they'll have their bus hooked up to it permanently. So they only have one hose that comes out of the bus and right into the ground. You don't have a bunch of hoses. And then we'll have another one over here at the septic tank where I'll be able to have my bus or something else hooked up to it. So it's about 50 feet worth of 4-inch pipe going in the ground. Well, we survived the big winds here. This thing held up perfectly. It was super windy. We even lost a tree right over there. That cedar tree, you can see at an angle. So that's how windy it was up here. The winds didn't come from the normal direction either. They actually ended up changing about maybe 120, 130 degrees in direction throughout that storm. But yeah, it just made a few noises, a few rattles and clanks and stuff like that, but nothing, it held up perfectly. And I think we had about 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts, so it wasn't quite as bad as what they had forecast as a possibility, but it was sustained for about 36 hours, more than 20 miles an hour. I don't think it ever dropped below 20. If it is, maybe like 18, but it was pretty crazy for a day and a half of straight winds like that. All right, well, he's really got quite a trench dug out here. He's only got to go a little bit further before he goes over to where the septic tank's at. But that's a lot of digging by hand. So by doing this, we don't have the stinky slinky coming so far. So if you remember last week, Lance had his Prevost towed over here. And when we unloaded it, he was steering it into the driveway and the steering wheel fell off. It turns out there was no nut holding it on and couldn't get it attached back, so that we couldn't steer it. So we had to leave it parked, partially blocking the driveway until we ordered the part to get it replaced. Several people said that the nut for the steering wheel must be inside there because they heard it rattle around. When Lance stuck his finger in there and looked in there, you can't see anything. You can hear a little something clanking a little bit, but he could feel it, and it wasn't the nut. You're supposed to be able to just pop this off with a screwdriver. There we go. That's what's making the noise. Whoop. It was a screw. There's a screw inside here. Probably holds that wire that's not here. They didn't have that wire hooked up. That's what just fell out of that tiny little screw. So there is no nut. So when they put this thing on to move it around the yard just in a hurry, they never put a nut back on it. And it's been sold since then, and that could have been very dangerous. So the nut's supposed to be here. It's supposed to come by UPS. I got to go check my packages. And we should be able to get this back on and get this bus out from blocking the driveway. So here's a new nut we just got from NFI. I just checked the fit. It does thread onto here, so we're good there. The problem is that this drops down below where the splines will engage the steering wheel. So I got to pull it up. It's pretty heavy. You can pull it up and hold it and try and wedge something in there, get some pliers under it to hold it while I put the steering wheel on the splines, because it keeps, when you put the steering wheel there, it keeps dropping back down below the steering wheel height. It's definitely not a one-person job. You gotta have two people to do this for sure. So I'm gonna try it first by pulling that out and then putting a pair of Cobras on it. You wanna grab this shaft between my legs and pull it up. And then I'm gonna try and grab it.
Pulling this?
No, just the center part. It's pretty hard. Okay, I got it. Now try and get the steering wheel. twist it a little. Shit. Are we hitting my pliers already?
Yeah.
Is that what the problem is?
Yeah.
Shit. Okay, so that's not gonna work. Trying to get the steering column to lock. There's like a lever right here on the side, and that did nothing when we did it. So there's a hole on the side over here. We were able to wedge a pry bar through there and pull that shaft out, and then kind of wedge it in there and hold it tight to get tension again in order to get that nut on. So it is attached now. And it's not torqued. I don't know what torque it goes to or anything, so I'm going to leave the cap off so he knows that it's not completely finished. And I think that sleeve went on there somewhere, but I didn't have a drawing here or anything. So my main thing was just to get steering so we could get it off of the middle of our driveway. Okay, so we got it towed up and parked here next to the driveway. It's off the driveway, and this is kind of high ground here, so it's a nice spot for it. We'll be able to pull it back out easily later, but that way it's safely off the driveway now. I don't think that tag wheel was spinning. It's got the leaves all bunched up on the front side of it. If the mud flap was dragging, I don't think that it would have just run over those leaves. I need to do something about the fuel tank there, as that's been open and no lid on it, no cap, just, that's crazy. Here, stuck a drink bottle over it, cut it in half, and somehow water can't, at least water and rodents and stuff can't really get in it. All right, we loosened this mirror and folded it out of the way just so it wasn't near the driveway. Just make it less of a target. Well, we just survived the one windstorm. We got another one coming. This starts tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. So really gonna put that new shelter to the test. But hopefully we'll be good to go again.